Hey everyone, Eric Thompson here. Hope that you are doing well. Welcome back to the channel, and let's get going. Wait, stop, hold on. I'm an idiot. Did not close the cover to the, oh my gosh. Let's get on with it. Driving back home, okay? Just out and about, and so I have a little bit of time left, and consequently some time to talk with you guys about, that's right, what else but the book-to-screen differential, okay? You know, the BTSD, I suppose. Thanks to that guy for letting me in. I want to bring this up because, well, first I want to say a couple things about the video. I'm going too fast. One, obviously we're in the car, and we're going to be getting on the freeway here in a minute, and so there you go. Wait. And so as we drive around, you're gonna move a bit. So if you have motion sickness, maybe this video is not for you. But I think it'll stay relatively still once I'm actually on the freeway. So consequently, I'm sorry for the for the swinging and swaying. And of course, I'm sorry about the audio. This camera is not always the best when it comes to these things, but that's okay. The book-to-screen differential. Now, until just a little bit. Okay. The other night, last night, 2 nights ago, was it yesterday? Well, it doesn't matter. Anyway, Tori and I watched The Hunger Games. It's streaming now on Netflix and Amazon Prime. If you haven't seen it, you know it's there available for you if you use any of those services. So we watched the movie, and immediately I felt that I was at a disadvantage because I had not read the books. Tori has read the trilogy and seen the film before. And so I feel like I'm at a disadvantage to her, of course, because I don't know what's happening and any of these things. And for one example, you know, right off the bat, that gal, I said it was Rachel McAdams. She kind of looks like her, but it's the gal who plays Avery on 30 Rock, remember? Anyway, excuse me. She comes out, and she's got the pink hair, or the purple hair, or the white hair, and the makeup, and I'm like, what is going on? And then, like, when Katniss volunteers to be the tribute, you know, they hold the fingers, like this however they do that, they're holding up fingers, and I'm like, what is going on? I understand the basic premise, you know, that, of course, the districts are in need, and this is how they set up the government, and all these things, and I kind of getting an idea for that. But I'm having to stop the movie and run over to Google and like type stuff in, and we're doing this like as the movie's going on, which normally I just can't stand that. I just can't stand stopping a movie or using your phone during a movie or something like that. But you know, I felt like I was at a disadvantage here because I didn't know what any of this stuff meant. Like I wanted to have a better picture of how the districts were laid out, and you know, the ecological zones and all. You know what I'm saying? So anyway. So I mentioned this to Tori. I said, you know, I feel like I'm really behind because I've not read the book and I don't have an understanding of what's up. What's happening right now in this story. I just don't get it. And so I was thinking about that more and thought, gosh darn, doesn't that seem to be the case with so many of these films now that are being, you know, made based on books? And I guess I want to talk about Hunger Games a little bit more, and then maybe we'll talk about like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, because those are some easy examples to get into, okay? With the Hunger Games, again, and kind of with all of the movies, I guess, I feel like the producers of the film want to acknowledge the fact that there are, of course, people who have read the books and who are coming to see the movie specifically because of the book. Not like in this case of the Hunger Games, you know, how many people actually went to the movie, went to see Hunger Games to see Woody Harrelson, right? Or how many are going to go see the sequel to see him, or Stanley Tucci, or anyone, you know? Not many. I mean, a great deal of their viewership is because of people who read the book and enjoyed it and loved it and wanted to see the screen adaptation. And so I feel like that's why those nods are being made. Those nods are being made to elements of the book which only someone who read it would understand. But in my case, maybe in yours as well, you see those elements and they're so strong, and you're like, ah, man, I really wish I got this, because obviously it's important, you know, and I want to understand it, I want to appreciate it, but I just don't know because I haven't read the book. But on the other hand, of course, you have those film adaptations that are made that go the opposite direction, that almost want to make it so that you would not have had to have read the book. I'm just tired. It's also overcast, gray skies. I'm tired. But of course, then again, I suppose that someone could just watch Hunger Games like I did. Of course, I knew a little bit about the story beforehand and still enjoy it and still get it, okay? That's a real challenge, of course, and that's why people are so critical of the book-to-screen differential, because people who read the book have come to such a passionate understanding about the book, and they want to see all those fine details included. I feel the same way. When I went to see The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, you know, I had just read through the whole Narnia trilogy, so I was caught up and I was fresh on it, and there were things that were missing, and I was like, oh, how could they leave it out, you know? Sorry for the bouncing, but they did leave it out, and that was something that I, as the viewer, paid for. Well, what can I say? There was something to say, because it was done. It wasn't in my power to control, of course. Even in the comment section below, let me know what you guys think about this. And are there some, you know, book-to-screen adaptations that you like, some that you don't like, or some that you want to see again, some that you wish had gone differently? Continuing along, you know, with Harry Potter, I didn't feel quite so badly about this because there's so much in these stories to tell. Of course, you recall that, for example, among many things, like Hermione's whole elf revolution operation, whatever it was, you know, but she's trying to liberate, you know, house elves. That's part of her deal in the books, and it's totally omitted from the films. Now, of course, fans of Hermione would have been very upset indeed and disappointed that this was missing, but for me, I can see how, you know, this would have just taken away from that central Voldemort Potter centered storyline. The same is true in Lord of the Rings, which I love 10 times more than Harry Potter by far. And there were things that were taken out of all three of the Lord of the Rings films, and even The Hobbit so far, that I missed. But I can see where Peter Jackson and you know, the other writers and producers thought very carefully about what is it in these books that is good on the page, but is not going to help on the screen. It's not going to lend to the center activity of the movie. And in most cases, unfortunately, books just do not play the same on the page. For example, back to Narnia, if we could just for a minute, at the end of Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and they get to Aslan's country, in the book, there's a lamb. There's a lamb laying on the beach, and it's laying by a fire, and on the fire, like on a grill, there's fish that's cooking. And of course, for those who understand the biblical symbolism, it's just screaming out Jesus Christ, right? It's just screaming, Aslan is Jesus, this is Jesus. You know, Jesus, of course, being referred to as the Lamb. And then, of course, after Jesus is risen from the dead, and he revealed himself to the disciples in the breaking of bread, and they also had fish. And so, anyway, these things are there. But I mean, can you imagine it, like, on the screen? Like, they go through that big ordeal, and they finally get to the end. They finally get to Aslan's country, and there's a lamb sitting next to a campfire. How's that going to look visually? This is not going to play out, and so they cut it out wisely. I missed it, but I understand why they said, let's pull it back, let's keep it moving in the right direction. This is the struggle which I want to hear about from you guys, because I know that so many of you have loved different books and been disappointed or struggle with the way that they appear on the screen. And also let me know what you think about that book-to-screen differential, and think of a time when you've seen a movie based on a book that you hadn't read? And did you feel, as I felt a little bit, at a disadvantage? Or did you not care? Or were you still able to enjoy the movie all the same? Consequently, and finally, I really did enjoy the Hunger Games. I'll be looking forward to the next film and the film after that. I don't think I'll ever read the books. I never read the Twilight books, but enjoyed the movies enough in a very general sense, and then I got to eat popcorn and watch them and everything. So even though I still enjoyed it, at the end, I'm looking back now and thinking, gosh darn, I just wish that I hadn't had that moment of feeling behind, that I didn't get all the little cues and all the little insights and inside jokes, kind of, and insights into the film that I definitely would have had if I'd read the book. But then if I had read the book, would I be upset when things get left out? You see the paradox, which I call the book-to-screen differential paradox. Anyway, well, thanks for tuning in. I'm just trying to burn the time here as I drive back home to Georgetown. Tori is visiting her friends in Indiana this weekend, and so I'll be alone for the weekend, which I'm not looking forward to, but it's okay. It's just how it is, and so I'll do my best. But hopefully that means I'll have lots of time for movie watching. I got a couple movies here, and I'll try and show you. I got, from the library, I got The Wild Bunch, which is in 2 more movies. We've gotten Titanic, then Sunrise, which I'll try and watch tomorrow, and then Spartacus, and then The Wild Bunch. And thinking of Hannah and Mary Lou, got The Late Quartet. Okay, I'm looking forward to that. Kind of a, not a musical, but has some musical elements to it. And so I'm looking forward to that. Christopher Walken and Philip Seymour Hoffman, Catherine Keener, and so on and so forth. And so a couple movies for the weekend alongside watching Sunset and Sunrise. Excuse me. Sunset? Sunrise. I'm not really sure. Anyway, lots of movies to watch, lots of reviews to do, lots of things to do, and I do hope that you are all doing so well. Thanks again for watching. Like and subscribe to the channel if you care to. I surely do appreciate it. I appreciate the likes on Facebook. I appreciate the likes on YouTube. I appreciate the subs on YouTube. If you're a new subscriber to the channel, welcome. And I thank you for choosing to subscribe to the channel and catch these videos. Sorry again for the wobbly, woo! camera work here, but we're just trying some new things. I guess I gotta get one of those dashboard mounts. Anyway, thank you, friends. Truly, take care. Bye. Is that gonna pass? You wanna pass? Just pass. Well, there's all this road in front of me. Fine, whatever.